Hey you, pay attention. Do you want to improve retention on a video? Or perhaps you don't feel like people are paying enough attention to you while you're giving a presentation. Well, you came to the right place, probably. I'm Ben, and today I'm going to guide you through the retention of attention. Whoa. Everything starts with how much you know, how well you know the audience, and how well you know your information. If you try to teach the right thing to the wrong audience, they'll care significantly less about it. So who wants to talk about video games? But if you have the wrong information in the right audience, then someone who knows will point it out, and you'll lose a lot of your credibility. So be sure to learn that information. Obviously, you need to present yourself along with your information. If you're so nervous or don't even have your information memorized, people will most likely think that you aren't an expert, even if you are. But depending on your context, you can also use humor. Wait a couple seconds. Obviously, if you're in a more professional context, then this does not apply to you, and you should definitely skip ahead to the next chapter. But if you, say, make YouTube videos or just talking to a microphone and making jokes is acceptable, then humor is definitely a part in creating a memorable video that people will pay attention to much longer. If you have a style of speaking that people already know and like, then you shouldn't just change that just because a random video on the internet told you to. Humor is hard. You can't force anything or wait for laughter, and especially in this day and age. I'm not the best expert on who to go to if you give advice for the best humor possible. Sometimes just like a random noise, like a can make people laugh out of nowhere. But also like an actually well-structured joke that makes sense in some kind of context can also work. In any case, figure out what works and make sure you don't overuse it, because then people will get bored of it quicker. Again, context matters here. If you're presenting in front of people in a professional context, or just in general for presentations for professional YouTube videos, then you should follow these instructions. Number 1, keep your posture straight. People are going to think you're less important if you're slouched like an older brother getting ready to destroy a younger sibling in a video game. 2, speak clearly and concisely. Making sure people can understand you is essential for them learning to you. And 3, keep some level of eye contact. If you're in a presentation hall, then shift your gaze around the room every 3 seconds or so, or whenever you feel like it's a good time to. Staring at one person the entire time makes the audience feel like they're not the ones being talked to, and thus the information's not for them. If you're in a smaller setting, then it's easier, but you should still do it, just less frequently. However, talking to a camera, then you just have to look to the closest side of the lens to your eyes. For instance, if you're above the camera, you can look to the top of it, and vice versa. This makes it so you look like you're keeping eye contact while also not looking out of place, like staring them down with a 1,000-yard stare. If it's level view, then just look straight forward then. It seems more natural that way. If you're making a more general video for a more casual audience, then camera placement is important, but the placement largely depends on the type of content. I, however, am not as well versed in the context, so I cannot give the perfect advice. What I can say is, don't let the main camera that you look at be in front of you, above you, or very below you. They aren't the most flattering angle for anyone. Best thing I could say for Let's Play type of content is keeping the camera at a 45-degree angle to your face, but still being in front of you, looking down on top of you. This gives the best angle while also letting you look to the side so you can talk directly to them, but it never looks like you're out of place. Don't let it drag on for too long. Okay, let's go a little bit more in depth. When presenting information in any way, from making a gaming video to a presentation of how well a company is doing, keeping the information brief and concise is a must for retention of attention. It gets easier when making a video, because when you're about 60 to 70% done with the video, you don't have to try as hard because people will already be interested. As they already spent their time on most of the video, they might as well watch to the end. It's a sunk cost fallacy, which is also what casinos use to sink your bank account. What matters is that you gotta keep them interested for the majority of the time. This comes down to, depending on the context, keeping the content that you're presenting brief, only having the most relevant information for the topic at hand. The more casual it is, the less information you need to give, but the opposite is true for more professional works. But it seems that's all the time we have for today. I personally believe it will turn out to be a 2-part series, the second one coming out sometime in March. But if you enjoyed this video, or perhaps actually watched to the end, please subscribe to this channel for one more of this content and a kitchen sink of other content. How do you like this form of video, actually? Please leave a comment. This was done for a school project, so I guess I gotta share it so I can get a better grade.